What's good, everybody? It's your brother New Breed coming through with another video. They have lied to us about practically everything. And some people are beginning to notice it. Those who can see are God's remnant. Everything that they called a conspiracy theory, most of it is just facts. And now evil can no longer hide. The cat's out of the bag. Those who are walking upright, our discernment has reached another level. The Bible talks about how in the last days knowledge shall increase. And I want you chosen ones to understand that you are geniuses. You have hacked the system. You have broke the matrix. You are very peculiar. You're very rare because you was never supposed to see. They programmed you through the 12 grades of learning. They programmed you through subliminal messaging. They programmed you through biological warfare and chemical warfare. And we were completely oblivious that we were at war the entire time. But somehow, some way, you cracked the code. And now a lot of you brothers and sisters stand out. And we have to go through a relearning process once we actually understand and comprehend the truth. We have to begin to renew our minds, and we have to unlearn everything that we was taught. The scriptures say that we will have to become like a little child all over again and relearn, which means there's a process where our ego dies. And that's a powerful moment when you go through that shift and you become childlike again. You begin to dream again. You begin to really gain your innocence back because everything's been convoluted with their deceptions. But every facet of society is built upon lies. All of it. The way we view marriage and relationships, all a lie. The way we look at how we should eat, all a lie. The way we believe the earth actually operates, the cosmos, space, time, all of it, lies. And it takes a real humbling process to pretty much relearn. But the good news is a lot of you brothers and sisters are now a clean canvas. And the Most High can do a work of art. And the truth is in the Bible. It's in the scriptures. It explains everything. You know, you got some extra biblical text out there that reinforces exactly what the King James Version says. You know, life is a great teacher as well, because some of the things that we go through, we can always pivot back to the scriptures and find a relevancy there. And life is not exactly what we thought it was when you really wrap your mind around what's going on. We know that this is temporary, but a lot of us never viewed this life as an actual matrix, an alternative universe that was never supposed to be. But The reason it is because sin entered the earth. In the Garden of Eden, when that shift took place, we're living in a simulation that technically wasn't supposed to be. Meaning we're supposed to live eternally. It's supposed to be joy, happiness. Man is supposed to have dominion over the creatures of the earth, and we're supposed to live forever in bliss here in this physical plane. But the dynamics changed, which would mean that this must be some sort of test now, because this is not the real life. Because why? It's temporary. Everything that we do here will be judged in the so-called afterlife, which really is the real life. And it's all a lie, what we've been told. History is exactly how it reads. His story. We watched the blacks in America go through one of the biggest identity thefts in human history, with another nation of people claiming to be those people, and gain the whole world from it. Gain control over everything. Banking systems. They gain control over communications, media, everything, based on a complete lie. And the ones who are at the bottom of the totem pole are the ones God actually chose. That's why the scriptures say, the last shall finish first, and the first shall finish last. Everything we was taught was a lie. The Charleston Heston film, Moses, those depictions aren't the real biblical characters. And we've been passed down these lies from generation to generation. The image of Caesar Borgia that is depicted as Jesus Christ, that image is a lie. Because according to the book of Revelations, Christ had feet the color of burnished brass and hair the texture of wool. So we know that what we've been told is not the truth. And if the whole world that we dwell in is built upon lies, this entire simulation has to be disrupted. That's the only thing that makes sense. And I believe we're beginning to see the disruption. And some people can feel it. Some people can see the patterns. Some people are growing weary, and some are anticipating a major shift taking place. And to be quite frank with you, we are in the middle of a complete global reset. And, you have the so-called powers that be trying to usher in a new world order. They've been talking about this for decades and planning for it for centuries. However, these diabolical maniacs would cause nothing but death and destruction at the end of the day. That's why the scripture says, if the Most High didn't speed the time up, if he didn't speed the time up, no flesh would survive what's coming. That's why time is moving so quickly. The Bible describes it as a time, and a dividing of time. So we're going to look at some sort of screeching halt. We're going to look at an interruption when things are supposed to just go normally. It's like 1 month is actually 2 months nowadays. And what do I mean by that? The events that happen in 1 month is enough events for 2 months. But the time is moving like 2 weeks. Think about that. And this is not something that we just collectively imagining. The mass majority who notice the shift, they can feel time speeding up. And later on this evening, I'm going to be doing a live stream. And I'm going to really go into details about certain lies that they told to us. And a lot of these things that I'm going to discuss are wrapped in to a lot of current events that's happening right now as we speak, that a lot of people are not talking about, but I'm going to address it. I'm going to address a few things that nobody really want to speak about, but we're going to go there. But how many of you all have noticed the shift in society, the shift with people? You know, back in the day, everybody didn't feel like time was speeding. Matter of fact, the days felt long. But now something is happening. The simulation is being disrupted. The lies are being uncovered. And God's people, his chosen ones, are beginning to answer the call, and is actually changing the frequency. So those who are evil, those who are operating on low vibrations, they're panicking right now. So out of desperation, they're pretty much ramping things up. But the Most High's people are protected through all of this. And we got to stay sober and vigilant and continue watching what's going on. One love to y'all. Talk to me down in the comment section if you can connect and relate, as well as make sure you like and share the material. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Support the work, newbreedglobaltruth.com, as well as hebrewcare.com. One love to y'all. Peace.